Hey everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just along to XRP once again. Thank you for support. Okay, big the CoinsKid crew. So it is my opinion, and a lot of people say I'm an idiot and things like that, and the troll the channel and things like that. But I actually think we've been in a correction since December of last year. Okay, and one of the key things to that particular correction was the retail top indicator that I created for yourselves. Now, historically, whenever the blue line pierces the red line, I did say to you, okay, it's a good time to convert your Bitcoin into XRP, and we did that, and it was an amazing trade. I think it triggered on November the 12th right there. We converted a Bitcoin into XRP, and from that point XRP absolutely bolted and Bitcoin come up and gone sideways. So I think that was one of the earliest warning shots, and I did say that to you, that at that point we do have some kind of correction historically. We've never not seen a decent correction in Bitcoin and crypto when that trigger point has come in, but usually it occurs within a month. Okay, and it did. If you take a look, you've got November the 12th, got the trigger point, Bitcoin come up, and then we began that expanded flat correction, in my opinion, on December the 17th for Bitcoin. I think that is the true top of an impulse for XRP and Bitcoin, but the warning shot was a retail top, and this is something I did say to you. I think we've got a nice little ride in XRP, but then I think we'll come with some kind of correction. Now, I don't necessarily think it is the macro correction. I don't necessarily think we've entered the bear market here, because I'm looking at confluence in other charts and another indicator that create for yourselves, that I do think we will come back and trigger the potential top on this retail top once more. Okay, and at that point, with the confluence of many data points I'm going to show you, then I think, okay, we're out the market. Okay, and at that point XRP's run out of steam and Bitcoin has, and that's it. We've got confluence of 5 waves up and 5 in 5 on Bitcoin. So I'll go through that with you today in the video, and my analysis of what I expect going forward for XRP. Now, it doesn't mean I'm right, it doesn't mean I'm wrong, but it's just something I'm looking at, the setup. We've nailed a lot of setups before, and obviously we've not nailed a lot of setups before. It is what it is, but I just think it's a perfect play at the moment. And there is an indicator that I created for yourselves called the crystal ball indicator. I created it yesterday and released it to the CoinsKid crew. Now, really simply, in layman's terms, whenever this golden line goes up to the upside and Bitcoin's going sideways to down, it's a clue that, the 10-week lag, that whenever this started to trigger and started to come up the stairs, which was January 6th, typically 10 weeks later, Bitcoin copies it. It really is simple. It's basically global liquidity entering the system and, filtering down to risk. Again, this is an indicator that you can get into your trading view. All you got to do is come to the site, go to indicators, cycle a crystal ball indicator right there, copy the code, boom, drop it into your trading view. And there is equally a custom trading view indicator tutorial right there, how to add it to your trading view. So let me dive into the Bitcoin chart firstly, and then I'll take a look at the XRP chart with you, because I just want to show you what I'm looking at in the Bitcoin chart. I know a lot of people are flipping bear and things like that, but this is an expected correction. I think we've been an expanded flat correction in XRP and Bitcoin, and I do have some bids on Bitcoin and XRP, which I will show you in today's video. Let me dive into the Bitcoin chart first, and then I'll dive into the XRP chart with you, because I do think that, come mid-March, April, May, I think we've got upside here for XRP. Okay, a lot of people say I'm too moonish, bull-tardish or whatever, but I'm looking at this particular indicator being the confluence of that and the wave count that I'm showing you. Okay, let's dive into the Bitcoin chart to show you what I'm looking at. So looking at Bitcoin on a daily time frame, we've had an amazing ride on Bitcoin so far. Now, the reason I'm looking at Bitcoin, and I've been looking at Bitcoin with you for a very long time, I do try and keep you updated on Bitcoin every single day, because it's confluenced my analysis of whether XRP is looking good or bad, basically. And Bitcoin's boss, isn't it? So we've got this huge breakout for Bitcoin. Look at that, where it's took out all these highs, it found resistance to this high, consolidating the range and broke out again. So I actually think at the moment anyway, Bitcoin is still structurally sound and bullish, and it's looking for continuation once it's expanding flat corrections out the way, and that's exactly what I think it is at the moment. Now, the reason I'm looking at this as being a correction and not necessarily the beginning of the bear market is multiple data points, but one of the key things I'm looking at is really simple. It's the total 2 chart. Now, typically what we do see in the total 2 chart at the beginning of every single bear market is really simple. So if you take a look at this time frame just there, we've got this top here in April of 2021. Now, what we do see is a rug pull for Bitcoin, which is your A wave, and we saw the same in total 2. Then we see the total 2, which is basically your alt season, break out to the upside. In the retracement, Bitcoin makes a lower high, which is your A, and then your B, and then your C. Okay, your first A wave down. And it's at this point, this is where total rugs as well. So we've not seen those characteristics of a top, basically a cycle top, which is exactly what we saw on this top there and this top here as well of that previous cycle. So again, look at the total 2 chart, comes back, breaks out to the upside, comes back, breaks out to the upside, fails to make the high where total 2 does. That's the characteristics of the top. Now this is one of the confluencing factors that I'm looking at right now, that I don't necessarily think that this is actually the top of the cycle here for Bitcoin, although obviously with this pullback at the minute it feels like it, but I actually think that this is just a simple zigzag correction in total 2, and it's a splendid flat correction in Bitcoin, looking for the reversal. And the clue may actually be in the crystal ball indicator that I've released for yourselves yesterday. So if you take a look, this is your top, this is your drop in total 2, it retraced. If it had done something like that and Bitcoin had done something like this and dropped, then yeah, you're looking at characteristics of a top. But we've not seen that. So in my opinion, what we've got right now is a potential scenario. This is an expanded flat correction. This is a zigzag in total 2. This will start to turn around, as will this. Okay, and then we'll look at something like that, where this drops, comes up, makes a lower high and drops. This comes down, makes a lower high, and boom, bolts. That's your characteristics of the top, which we've not seen in the confluence of the total 2, which is basically your altcoins excluding Bitcoin, and with confluence of the Bitcoin price action. So that's one of the things I'm looking for as confluence of many other data points as well, to say, okay, the top's in here, okay, structurally. We just don't see it yet. So there's no bias, but what I'm looking at right now is the potential that from this low here we've got a 1 2 3 4 5, and from here we've got a 1 2 3 4 5, and from here we've only got a 1 2 3. So right now we've got a 4, which we're going through expanded flat correction, missing the final 5th wave coming up. So if we see that, then obviously you've got your 5 waves in there, which is 1, you've got your expanded flat 2, then you've got your 3, then you've got your zigzag 4, and then boom, you've got your final 5th wave, which consists of 5 waves, 1 2 3 4 5. And at that point we should see the characteristics of the top with total 2, which is what we see at every single cycle. So that's what I think we've got in front of us at the minute. I wouldn't get necessarily carried away with the fact that we've entered a bear market here, because I don't necessarily see the structure and the data points to suggest that. Obviously structure and price structure is absolute paramount over everything, but at the minute I think, and there's no bias here, I think we've got the final 5th wave missing here for Bitcoin. So there's a little bit of confluence in the golden line on the crystal ball indicator, and the fact that it's bounced already, that we may be about to see this sometime in March leading to April and May. And like I've taught you, in May selling go away. So I do think there's a little bit of confluence of the fact that this is missing the 5th wave from this low here, as is XRP. Okay, so I'll show you the XRP chart going forward, but if we drop the crystal ball in right now, I can show you potentially the structure we're looking for in Bitcoin and some buy zones for Bitcoin, where this particular leg here is no different from that leg here. Okay, it's an expanded flat correction. So let me show you. Okay, so looking at Bitcoin with the crystal ball indicator right there, the golden line, I'm going to show you of XRP as well, and the price structure and the things I'm anticipating for XRP as well, my buy zones for both of these charts. So at the minute I just think we're going through an expanded flat correction in both charts, and we've hit it in December right there. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to get this to marry up with this top. Okay, so to do that, obviously this is a daily time frame. I showed you in yesterday's video on the weekly. If you go to the weekly time frame to marry it up, all you got to do is go to your settings on the crystal ball indicator, go to time offset, and obviously it's roughly around about 10 weeks, isn't it, for XRP and Bitcoin right there. So we've got this sort of confluence right now that you get your breakout here, you got your top here, your correction, sideways consolidation, this breaks out and then this breaks out, you got your top there, sideways consolidation, this breaks out and this breaks out. So it's quite on song on a weekly time frame, roughly 8 to 10 weeks, with a little bit of lag in and out, but you got your top there, and then since there Bitcoin's been coming over. So you can clearly see, if you just to look at this is basically this bottom here, you come back up and then you put another bottom in for Bitcoin roughly mid-March. Okay, but if we switch to the daily time frame, we could try and tally it up a little bit better. So on the daily, obviously it needs to be offset by roughly 70 days, because obviously 10 weeks times 10 weeks is 70 days. Okay, so let's change that to 70 and we'll see how well this looks in comparison to the chart right there. So that should offset, move to the right. So you've got this top here, and again if you look to the left, you've got a beautiful little top there, comes back down, makes its low structural resistance right there. You've got consolidation range in the beautiful golden line, which is your crystal ball indicator. You've got this range here, you break out, and then obviously with Bitcoin it's lagging and it breaks out eventually. So there is a little bit of lag, and that makes sense, because obviously liquidity, it flows and it begins to trickle down into risk and things like that. It just takes its time to do so. So just there, this was a major warning shot that we would get a correction for Bitcoin, because this dropped like an absolute stone, and then basically obviously we've offset it with a lag. You've got this correction that Bitcoin's going through right now. now. So if we're respecting this, okay, and we're looking at this as a potential cheat sheet, which is why I've called it crystal ball, then basically this low here is where we are right now. So you should have some kind of retracement coming back up and then another drop, retracement coming back up and then another little drop, which is a flush in sort of mid-March, and then boom, we begin to break out, which would be absolutely amazing. So with that, I actually think that what this is a C wave we're in right now, and this is the third wave. And the reason is for Bitcoin, and I've taught you this before, that, you know, whenever we see a flush of the low, that is always a third wave, in my opinion. And I think that that's exactly what it is. So, you know, what I think we've got now is some kind of 1 into a 2, into a 3, into a 4, into a final fifth wave, with the confluence of the crystal ball indicator that, you know, we should begin to bottom out down here and then break out in sort of mid-March to come back up the stairs and take out the highs. And from here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 set up. And that's your last leg, with the confluence of XRP as well, and obviously the confluence of the crystal ball indicator. So again, I don't necessarily think this correction's over. It might get a little bit more squeaky bum time. So where could we look at for Bitcoin to go? So we could drop the fibs on right now from the high to the low. I actually think we're in an expanded flat correction here for Bitcoin, and what we've done, we've lost this low, so we've found a little bit of support on 1.272, but I think we could see this wave come down in 5 waves, basically, some kind of 1 into a 2, into a 3, into a 4, into a 5, possibly down to the 1.618 fib before a true reversal, and then coming back up the stairs in 5 to complete this bull market for Bitcoin. So that is my primary expectation at the moment. I think we've actually hit some kind of A, B, C zigzag correction here, and we've traded this before. You know, we traded a beautiful bump and run pattern way back here. I think it was the summer, wasn't it? Late summer. You've got your A wave here. This is your high in April of 2023. There's your A wave, there's your B wave, and the C wave. And what we did, we traded it in the 5. We've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful bump and run pattern. Once we broke out just there, I traded this with yourselves, told you, beautiful back test, see you later, the final fifth wave coming up of 3. And we traded that. So this is what I'm looking at right now as a potential scenario that we've got this final fifth wave missing, and you know the confluence may be in this expanded flat correction that we're going through, and obviously the crystal ball indicator. So let me dive into the XRP chart right now, because obviously if we start to go through something like this, we've got 1, 2, waterfall 3, and then we start to create this fall, and the final flush to the 1.618, 81755 before the true reversal, what will happen to XRP? So I'm going to show you my primary anticipation expectation for XRP, and where I do actually have some bids in for XRP right now. So looking at XRP on the daily time frame at the moment, I think we've hit a correction just there, okay, some kind of A, B, C, and right now we're in the C wave, and it's complex, okay. A lot of people can say that that's the bottom, or even down here's the bottom, or whatever, you know. It's really difficult to actually pinpoint the bottom, but like I always taught you, regardless, this is opportunity, okay. We've been in many C waves before for XRP, and I've always relayed to you that they're just opportunity to eventually come out and take out the high, okay, if you can identify them. So I think that this is a C wave, and it's an expanded flat correction. I've identified that many times with you. Now there is a couple of scenarios that I'm looking at for XRP, okay. One is basically a truncation of a final C wave, a fifth wave, which is possibly what we're in right now, and obviously there's also the possibility of losing this wick low. So I'm going to look at both scenarios with you. Now there is a potential bearish pattern there that I've relayed to the CoinsKid crew as well. So it's all about this trend line for XRP at the moment. If we break down, which we're currently, you know, we're losing this support right now on the daily time frame, but if we turn this into resistance of some kind of retracement, get rejected, okay, and wick through into this beautiful descending triangle, if we get rejected and roll again, then obviously I think there's increased probability we actually lose that low, and we are still in the C wave. And what we've got is a 1, expanded flat 2, this is your 3, this is zigzag 4, and right now it's your final fifth wave coming down, okay, for XRP. So if that is the case, then we've got a head and shoulders pattern here on this neckline. There's your left shoulder, there's your head, there's your weak right shoulder, breakdown, back test, see you later, flush to the downside, then boom, you're into the God candle back test just there, around about $1.64, which would be a buy zone for me. So that is a scenario I'm looking at right now, and I did relay this to the CoinsKid crew on the Discord, you know, earlier last week. I was looking at this potential scenario. So basically, there's no guarantees that this will play out, but I'm looking at this neckline being lost right now of a weak head and shoulders pattern, and obviously going forward, if we start doing something like this and take out this high, then obviously I'm completely wrong, you know, in this particular analysis. So this is the bearish analysis, but it's not macro bearish. This is actually just part of the correction for XRP. So there is a buy zone on this God candle back test just there, roughly $1.63838, okay, and then you got your left shoulder, your head, your right shoulder, you're breaking down, back test resistance, failed to take out that pivot high, and then you roll again, okay. And what you've got is a 1 into a 2 into a 3 into a 4 into a final fifth wave to the downside, which sweeps this low, and everyone thinks you've entered a bear market here. But at that point you reverse, and boom, you break out to the upside, and from here you got a 1 into a 2 into a 3 into a 4 into the final fifth wave into the spring, April and May. And at that point, like I've taught you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all out, okay, because at that point you got in May, sell and go away scenario. So that's what I'm looking at primarily, you know. But like I said to you, regardless, I'm dollar cost averaging into XRP. I've not sold my XRP at this level. You know, structurally, if it starts to break down significantly, yeah, I'll start to exit my XRP position. But I think there's a chance here that this is a 1 into a 2 into a 3 into a 4 into a 5. At that point, you know, for me, I'm not looking to exit my position on XRP until I start to see the final fifth wave to the upside. So is there any other confluence to that? So looking at this particular indicator here, the CoinsKid crystal ball, you can clearly see I've offset it by 70 days. So we've got this top here, which is your top there, you've got your bottom there, and then obviously we've got this wick bottom here, which was here, and right now this bottom here, which is here. You've got this retracement that comes up like that and then drops towards that bottom there, and then you begin your push to the upside. So it may be a little bit confluence within the crystal ball indicator in itself that we've not necessarily seen the bottom for XRP yet, and we may flush this low here just like this low was flushed here on this low. Okay, so I'll leave you with that. But going forward, there's no guarantees that this head and shoulders pattern will play out, but the invalidation will be really simple. If we start to break back above this neckline where we've lost it currently, turn this into resistance, back into support, and take out that pivot high, okay, this is your true reversal that we're creating here, some kind of ascending triangle. But what I'm looking for, with the potential right now that this low here is that low, then this low here is this low, we've come back up in another ABC, and then we flush to the downside, we could be looking at a bottom sort of mid-March here before the true turnaround and the final fifth wave in XRP. So I'll leave you with that. Hope you enjoyed that update. If you're looking for regular updates, definitely get involved in the Discord right there. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Take care everyone. Back soon with another update on XRP. Bye bye.